The National Pensions Regulatory Authority is vigorously monitoring all pension trustees to ensure that the first batch of Ghanaian workers who are retiring this year at 60 years under the new Pension Act are not shortchanged, but rather paid promptly, adequately and fairly. According to its Chief Executive, Hayford Atakrofi, the authority is working with government and other stakeholders to ensure that the teething challenges facing the payment of pension benefits are addressed immediately. He was speaking at the 10th anniversary dinner and awards night of the NPRA.
NPRA has since 2010 been implementing the three-tier pension scheme to enhance retirement benefits. They include mandatory basic national social security scheme, a mandatory occupational pension scheme that is fully funded and privately managed, and the voluntary provident fund and personal pension scheme. Speaking at the 10th anniversary dinner and awards night of the NPRA, Mr. Atakrofi said his outfit had grown and expanded rapidly in his 10 years of service.
10 years of pension reforms have recorded many gains for workers in this country. The reforms also made provision for many more people in the informal sector who would not have enjoyed any form of pension to benefit, to now enjoying pension benefits. Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, the reform brought about the first-tier mandatory basic national social security that would incorporate an improved system of the SNP benefit, mandatory for all employees, both in the private and the public sector. And it also included a second-tier occupational, or I should say work-based pension scheme, mandatory for all employees, but privately managed, and designed primarily to give contributors a higher lump sum benefit than presently available under Cap 30 and the old SNP pension scheme. And finally, a third-tier voluntary provident fund and personal pension scheme supported by tax benefit incentives to provide additional funds for workers who want to make voluntary contributions to enhance their pension benefit, and also for workers in the informal sector.
Mr. Atakrofi later told Joy Business on the sidelines that, though COVID-19 had impacted on its business, investments have not been affected.
Generally, the beginning of this year, we were hit by COVID-19, which has had impact on all operations globally. We expected some kind of effect that this would have on pension funds. But of course, in the course of the year, we've been able to implement the three-tier pension scheme, which first retirees came out into retirement in 2020. We've been able to effect benefit payment, of course, with some difficulties. So far, some pension funds that we expected growth for, obviously, because of COVID-19, may not have grown to the extent that we expected. But by and large, the pension industry has been stable, even in the circumstance that COVID has had on our economy. So far, I would say, so good. We expected some investment returns to actually not meet the expected target. But of course, that fear was from the very early onset of COVID-19. But by the end of the second quarter, we had been able to bounce back, and I would say investments have not been affected as it was initially feared. So far, we have met a good number of our targets. But of course, it would have been better without COVID-19.
Ex-President John Agyekum Kufuor was honored for initiating the country's pension reforms in the year 2008.